The landlord couldn't understand it. 3 tenants in 2 weeks, all fleeing Daniel's old apartment like something was chasing them. The first tenant, Sarah, lasted her only 4 days. She called frantically about whispers in the walls at night, voices that seemed to come from nowhere. "Someone's talking to me," she said, "but I'm alone." The second tenant, Marcus, made it 6 days. Every morning he'd wake to find the balcony door wide open, wind howling through the apartment. He swore he locked it every night. The third tenant, Lisa, discovered something that made her blood run cold. Superman comics appeared on the coffee table, comics that weren't there before. Then came the whispers, the open door, the pull toward the balcony. One night she found herself standing on the edge, 12 stories up. "You're ready now!" a voice whispered from the darkness. She snapped awake, stumbled backward, and ran. The apartment sits empty now. The balcony door stays open, waiting. Did you know the same apartment balcony has claimed 5 lives, all on the exact same date? October 13th, 2019. Daniel jumped, believing he was Superman. Police records revealed a chilling pattern. Marcus had done the same thing exactly 1 year earlier. Same balcony, same date. Then they found 3 more cases, all October 13th, all convinced they could fly. Each victim spent their final weeks drawing Superman symbols, talking to empty rooms, wearing blue under their clothes. The behaviors were identical, like they were following the same script. Investigators dug deeper and discovered the apartment building sits on the site of a 1950s psychiatric hospital. A patient had jumped from the roof on October 13th, 1953, believing he could fly. Every year since the apartments were built, someone dies on that date. This October 13th is 3 days away. The new tenant, David, was seen yesterday wearing blue beneath his shirt. He started talking to his empty balcony at night. Did you know a neighbor accidentally recorded proof that something evil was controlling her friend before his death? Mrs. Chen lived across from Daniel, a quiet man who spent every night on his balcony talking to himself. At first, she thought he was just lonely, making phone calls under the stars. But then she noticed something strange. He was having full conversations with no phone in sight. Curious, she started recording him through her window with her phone camera. The audio picked up 2 distinct voices, Daniel's familiar tone and something else entirely, something deeper, colder, that seemed to give him commands. "You're ready now," the other voice would whisper. "It's time to show them." Daniel would nod and respond like he was talking to a real person standing right there. On the night he jumped from his balcony, she caught everything on film. The footage shows him laughing maniacally as he leapt to his death. But here's the terrifying part. Mrs. Chen still hears that second voice at night, and now it's calling her name. Sarah had severe acrophobia her entire life, but desperate for cheap rent, she took Daniel's old apartment on the 12th floor. She kept the balcony curtains drawn tight and avoided that side of the room completely. But something strange started happening after the first week. Late at night, she felt drawn to the balcony door, fighting the urge to step outside. Her lifelong terror of heights began dissolving into weird confidence. Each night, she found herself standing closer to the railing, staring down at the street below. The fear that once paralyzed her was replaced by an inexplicable urge to jump. One night, she climbed onto the edge, teetering 12 stories above the pavement. Suddenly, her phobia snapped back like a rubber band. She crawled away from the balcony, shaking and terrified. That's when she realized the truth about Daniel's apartment. Something in that place makes people believe they can fly, and it's still waiting for the next tenant. The final 3 weeks changed everything for Daniel. He stopped sleeping completely, convinced that rest was stealing his powers. Hour by hour, his mind began to crack. He saw flight paths traced in the ceiling, cracks above his bed. The wind outside his window whispered directions, guiding him toward his destiny. With each sleepless night, gravity felt lighter on his shoulders. But most importantly, the voice became clearer. What started as whispers now spoke with crystal clarity, coaching him through imaginary flight training. "Spread your arms wider," it would say. "Feel the air currents." Daniel practiced on his balcony, convinced he was hovering inches off the ground. By his final night, 72 hours without sleep, reality and hallucination merged completely. The voice was no longer a whisper, but a command. "Jump!" Today, the new tenant reports identical symptoms. Sleepless nights, ceiling cracks that look like maps, and a voice promising flight. The apartment remembers. Did you know thermal cameras captured something impossible in a dead man's apartment? 3 months after Daniel jumped from his balcony, paranormal investigators entered his building with advanced equipment. Tenants had complained about strange voices and cold spots throughout the halls. The thermal imaging immediately detected massive temperature drops in 2 specific locations: the balcony edge where Daniel fell, and the bedroom corner where neighbors heard him talking to no one. Readings showed impossible temperatures, 40 degrees below normal, despite perfect room conditions. But then something terrifying happened. The cold spots began moving, forming human-shaped masses on the thermal display. When investigators spoke, the temperature patterns responded, shifting and pulsing like they were alive. Audio analysis revealed the cold spots matched exactly with Daniel's recorded conversations with his invisible presence. Then the lead investigator felt hands pushing him toward the balcony edge. The thermal camera captured everything: a distinct humanoid figure made of pure cold. Later analysis confirmed the thermal signature matched Daniel's exact body heat pattern from police footage the night he died. Did you know a medical examiner once discovered a body that defied everything she knew about human anatomy? Dr. Martinez expected routine paperwork when Daniel's body arrived after his tragic balcony fall, but the x-rays showed something impossible. His bone density was 3 times normal human levels. The blood tests came back even stranger. His cellular structure looked nothing like anything in medical textbooks. Under the microscope, his muscle tissue told a horrifying story. Microscopic tears everywhere, like someone had actually tried to lift off the ground. Then she checked his brain activity. 48 hours after death, electromagnetic patterns were still firing. But the spine scan made her hands shake. Crystalline formations that don't exist in human bodies, pulsing with electrical current. She started writing her real findings when the phone rang. An unknown voice whispered threats, demanding she stop digging. Dr. Martinez filed a standard suicide report instead. The real autopsy disappeared into her locked drawer. Some discoveries are too dangerous for the world to know. Did you know an EMT quit his career after one emergency call that broke every rule of a life and death? Rodriguez had seen everything in 12 years on the job, but nothing prepared him for Daniel's call. He arrived to find a body shattered beyond recognition, 12 stories worth of concrete and gravity. No pulse, no breathing, massive head trauma. Daniel was gone, but as Rodriguez followed protocol, he heard something impossible. Breathing. Steady, rhythmic breathing coming from beneath the corpse. He checked vitals again. Nothing. Yet the breathing continued. Then Daniel's lips began moving, forming silent words despite the fatal injuries. Rodriguez leaned closer, hands shaking as he tried to understand. Suddenly, Daniel's eyes snapped open, staring directly at him. "Tell them I made it," he whispered clearly. Then silence. Complete and final. Rodriguez quit that night and now works graveyard security. He still hears Daniel's breathing through radio static, reminding him some calls should never be answered.